A really nice 2-week break, but we finally got chapter 109 of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. Last chapter we had set up for 2 major battles and foreshadowing for the future of this series, and I have to say, this chapter in and of itself was just as, if not better, than last chapter, and I have to say, Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, especially from this arc, has given me a lot of nice moments. And I've been enjoying the series so much over the last year, I just don't know how to fully express it in every single review. But I have to say, I am loving Fairy Tail, and this chapter alone really does hype me up for the climax of this arc. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and these Fairy Tail videos are starting to do better and better as we progress. So I want to keep putting more Fairy Tail content on the channel, as I do enjoy making these reviews, and the fact that you guys are also enjoying these reviews and videos will help keep me motivated to make more reviews, and also maybe try and do some more non-review type content on the channel for Fairy Tail that I have in store for the future that I want to try and do. So all help will be appreciated. Also, if you want to check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Weeb to check out what else I'm doing, whether it just be my daily routine of just talking to people or just updating you guys on whatever I feel is like cool or whatever, go check me out over there. And with that out of the way, let's hit that intro and start off with the chapter. So chapter 109, The Soul of a King. Now before we get into the actual chapter, I just want to give attention to this nice cover image of Gildarts and Laxus. This is just something really funny and just wholesome as hell, of Gildarts just trying to take Laxus out for like an outing or something, seemingly to go fishing. And this is in Laxus's rebellious young teenager years, where he wanted crap from nobody, so this is just all in all hilarious. I really do just want like a filler chapter or like an OVA series when the anime eventually comes back of just Laxus and Gildarts going fishing. I have never wanted anything more in my life. Give me Gildarts and Laxus going fishing. That is all I want right now. But anyway, the chapter starts off where last chapter left us, with Natsu staring down Dogramag, the Earth Dragon God. Now, Selene is still alive, but is seemingly barely clinging to consciousness, which is honestly very important because I feel like she's going to play a major role in the story if she does not die. It seems she's on the verge of death, but if Wendy shows up, perhaps she can heal her. But anyway, Dogramag lifts his hands, does a nap, and explodes the ground beneath them, launching Natsu into the air. And Natsu gets pelted with a ton of rocks. And he realizes that these are rocks that he cannot break. So he starts to jump around on the rocks to try and get closer to Dogramag, but Dogramag just appears right in front of him, and he was about to punch him until Suzaku blocks it in order to protect Natsu. And Suzaku notices that fire does seem to be somewhat effective against Dogramag's powers. And honestly, it's not very clear who's saying this right now. I believe it's Natsu, as it fits more. But he states, to be honest, I can take him myself, is what I'd like to say. But if it'll protect everyone, we gotta join forces. And Suzaku agrees, so now this battle is gonna be Suzaku and Natsu versus Dogramag, which they would have teamed up to fight Ignia in the first place, so now they're just teaming up to fight a different dragon god. How this is going to play out, I have no idea, but I'm still in the camp that Dogramag's going to eventually take them out, or they'll get the upper hand, and Dogramag will have to use his own full power to knock those two to the ground, and he'll have some excuse to leave them all alive, or someone will come in for the save. We have no idea, but I'm going to talk about how they'll get out of this at the end of the video. But anyway, we cut back to Laxus and Kirin as they're staring each other down, ready for round 2. And Kirin throws the coffin right at Laxus as Laxus blocks it and it moves him back. Laxus thinks back about his last encounter, as apparently there's some strange sensation that he feels from this coffin, to what Kirin said about a king's soul being sealed within this coffin. And Laxus is wondering what it is. But right now it doesn't matter, because all he knows is that he has to destroy it. And he launches a Thunder Dragon's Roar against Kirin, but Kirin counters with his own roar, the Yellow Dragon's Roar, as they both collide and cancel each other out. And Laxus notices, this is lightning? Kirin smiling. As Laxus didn't even know that Kirin was a Dragon Slayer, which means the last time when Kirin managed to get the upper hand on Laxus, he was not using a single Dragon Slayer spell, and was primarily using the coffin to fight, from what I remember. And that's kind of the impression that I'm getting here. So yeah, Kirin introduces himself as the Yellow Dragon Slayer and tells Laxus, because I guess he didn't know about Diablos and how they got the Dragon Slayer powers, but Kirin reinstates that all the Dragon Slayers in Diablos are called Dragon Eaters. So they eat dragons, and the dragon that Kirin ate was the Yellow Dragon Alexion, also known as the Thunder Dragon King, the King of Lightning. As Kirin states, I suppose you and I were fated to battle one day, as he then uses a ton of lightning out of nowhere to engulf and hit Laxus. And this is the shocking part. This actually injures Laxus. Usually, an element of the same type as a Dragon Slayer should not affect them, or at least be insanely weakened. But this, it hurt Laxus. Lightning magic hurt Laxus. And Kirin states that it's because that he is the king of lightning, as he points his finger at Laxus and shoots even more rays and blasts of lightning at him, but Laxus manages to dodge it. Laxus taunts him, saying, "King, huh?" So that dragon's soul is in that coffin. Kirin looks at Laxus and then tosses the coffin at Laxus once more. But Laxus is trying to dodge it as much as he possibly can, as right now all he's doing is swinging around that soul however he wants. And Kirin just states it's his right as the one who devoured the king. But then we notice that the coffin manages to pull Laxus towards it. And Laxus even notices this sensation. It's the same as before, but it's like he's being pulled towards it. And then Laxus realizes something as Kirin smirks. And he's like, it can't be. Is it even possible? And Kirin basically confirms it's, showing that Laxus is starting to catch on to the secret of his coffin and its powers. He states that there's a Dragon Slayer Lacrima buried in Laxus' body. Like we all know, he is a second generation Dragon Slayer. His father implanted that into him so that he can have Dragon Slayer magic. We've all known this for a long time. But Kirin states that what a Dragon Slayer Lacrima is, that it is a processed heart of a particular dragon. And turns out Laxus' Dragon Slayer Lacrima is the heart of Alexion, the Thunder Dragon King, the king that Kirin himself devoured. Now, here's something that's very interesting. We know from Elefsir that a dragon can survive without its heart in its body and still thrive. So if Alexion's heart was processed into a lacrima, then it makes sense for the owner of that heart to be somewhere else still alive. And Kirin somehow managed to find him, kill him, and devour its flesh. So now we have a battle between the heart of the dragon and the body and soul of the dragon. I believe Alexion's soul is sealed within Kirin's coffin, and Kirin devoured the body of Alexion. So now the body, mind, and soul are all together, which is why Laxus is being pulled towards the coffin. And Kirin reaffirms this by saying that their souls are resonating with each other. And Kirin reinstates again that this is fate. Alexion is screaming for his heart to come back, and he wants it back. Laxus is saying that this is a load of crap since Kirin ate Alexion's body. Kirin once again basically just states that he became one with Alexion. All he's missing is Alexion's heart right now, and then he can have all of it. As he lunges forward and punches Laxus with a lightning punch as Laxus manages to block it. Kirin, with a maniacal look, states to give it back. And Laxus thinks about it and talks about his dragon Lacrima, how his dad forced it onto him when he was a kid, and how right now he honestly doesn't even want it anymore. But then he reaffirms himself and states, on the other hand, I'm gonna get that soul free, as the chapter ends. So I am very, very happy right now, as we got two major fights right now, Laxus versus Kirin, and this is a high stakes battle for the both of them, as Laxus is fighting against someone who devoured the dragon that where his powers originated from. Meaning Laxus does not have the full power of this particular dragon, as the body and soul are completely separate entities. The soul trapped in the coffin, and the body devoured by Alexion and becoming one with it. So now Laxus is having to fight the original owner of the heart that he currently has within his body, and it is seemingly stronger. And his attacks are basically being countered one after another, and Kirin is able to deal actual damage to Laxus despite being Dragon Slayers of the exact same typing, which I find very interesting, and I'm liking to see Laxus challenge himself and be taken on with a very powerful opponent. So I'm curious to see how this fight is going to go on, because I feel like Laxus is going to try and do something. Maybe use his like Crimson Lightning that he inherited from his great grandfather to try and well, take down Kirin in a surprise attack as a way for the heart to surpass the body. I feel like that's the way we're going to go with it, or it's going to end up ending in a draw and Kirin's going to be forced to retreat. Now on to the battle with Suzaku Anatsu. I feel like I said, I think they're going to do fairly well if they manage to work together. Natsu's not very stubborn, as he literally just admitted that he won't be able to take on Doggermog on his own. And if they're going to protect everybody, him and Suzaku are going to have to work together. And Natsu's flames do seem to be fairly effective against Doggermog. And hopefully Suzaku's blade will be able to pierce the earth that Doggermog creates and help make an opening for Natsu. So this fight I see going in a multitude of ways, but in the end, Doggermog is going to have to come out on top as he's not using his full power, especially since he's freshly revived. So I feel like we're going to just have Doggermog utterly destroy them, or have this be a kind of tie or a draw with Selene having to be the one to get everybody out of there. As we saw, Selene is still conscious, so it's very possible, despite her dying, she might use the last bit of her consciousness and magical power to transport everyone from Fairy Tail and Diablos, even Allyfun as well, away from the labyrinth so that they can all get away safely. And in all honesty, I feel like Selene's still being alive and conscious, because the beginning of this chapter reinstated that Selene is still conscious, same with last chapter. So I am very confident that Selene is going to be the Deus Ex Machina that gets everybody out of there to fight another day. And I really hope that we get an idea of what Ignia and Doggermog are truly planning. It could just be a new Age of Dragons, reviving the dragons. Hell, there is a theory that Ignia wants to revive Acnologia so that he can defeat him and then revive all the other dragons that died in the past. And they can beat his army, and then they can rule the world and destroy all the humans. That's a very possible idea, which I don't mind. Very typical, like a bad guy type plan, but it's not a bad plan. I'm on board with it, but I feel like there has to be a bit more nuance, as Ignia, he does not seem like an all-around like villainous person, as he does actually care for Natsu and is in some manner of regard, as he doesn't want Natsu to be killed. And who knows, he might actually truly view Natsu as a brother because of his connection to Ignia. But yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on this chapter. A very nice chapter that I have to say, with some really good pacing. And I have to say, well, these fights are going to be intense. I give this arc another like 4 to 5 chapters at least to wrap up these fights and proceed to the following arc. Now, with how things are with Lemsier, I do feel like that with Doggermog in the mix, there will have to be a way for Fairy Tail to get more people in on the action. I want, with all the focus on Laxus in this arc, I want him to come back into the fray and take part in the 100 Years Quest, even though he was not a part of the original team. So I hope some kind of countermeasure, or just some loophole can be used, or reworking of the initial job contract to at least get maybe all the Dragon Slayers involved, as once again, this is a story involving dragons, and I feel like Dragon Slayers would be the best option to take these guys down, as they are dragons in the end. But that's my thoughts and opinions. What do you guys think down below? What do you think of the twist revealed that Kirin's Dragon Slayer power was obtained by devouring the dragon, where Laxus' powers originally came from? And I want to know how Laxus' father got his hands on that particular dragon Lacrima, because I'm just straight up curious as how that happened. It could have just been centuries away, but that has me very curious on how we managed to obtain it, since the dragon is reportedly had been alive up until a couple of years ago when Kirin ate it. And what do you think is going to happen with the Suzaku and Natsu battle against Doggermog? Do you think they'll be able to get an upper hand on him before he can use his true powers? And do you think I'm right with Selene being the Deus Ex Machina that's going to get everybody out of there at the end of the day? Leave your thoughts, opinions, and theories down below, and I do read every single comment, so be free to go wild with it. I will try and interact as much as I possibly can. It helps give you some more insight and things to think about for future videos. And with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell once more if you haven't already, as it helps show that you guys enjoy my content, especially my coverage of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. And if you want to support the channel more directly, don't forget to check out my Patreon and my Ko-fi accounts, as I do have a lot of videos that I want to get out besides chapter reviews that require a lot more time and effort. So any and all help to get these out faster would be very much appreciated. But with all that said and done, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to next time, and I hope you all have an awesome day.